Hey everyone, this is M6ii for Oak Forest Audio. Today we're going to take a look at something super exciting, super cool. This is the Cayenne N6 Mach 2. I didn't have a chance to hear the Mach 1, but I heard it was pretty good. Now, what I appreciate about this is a modular DAC amp and digital audio player. It's a DAP, right? Pretty exciting. Shout out to Andy Kong as well as the team at Cayenne for letting me hear this, as well as Musitech. I think they're the distributor here in the States, and this is going back to them shortly. Now, price-wise, it is $1,000, and then there is an additional DAC module that I believe is $299 or $399. Modular, and right now, as I know, there are multiple DAC boards that are out there, DAC amp boards that are out there, but I have the A1 and the T1. Now, the T1 is based on the Texas Instruments PCM 1700 family of DAC chipsets. And the majority of my view is going to be around that chipset just because the performance of it is pretty exceptional. Price-wise, I believe it's right around $13 for that setup. Now, this is an Android-based player, so it does have a custom Android OS that sits on top of the Android kernel, so you can do things like the Play Store, you can do Tidal, you can do Qobuz, all sorts of stuff. For this review, I didn't really explore some of the wireless connectivity. I just wanted to stick with how does the player run by itself with offline files, how is the sound quality. Headphone-wise, I ran it with two loads. I did the Mr. Speakers? No, it's Dan Clark Audio now. Excuse me, guys. The Dan Clark Audio Aeon 2 closed. I got a solid silver cable for mine, and, you know, good old Sennheiser HD 600. Two kinds of different loads. I mean, the 600 is a 300 ohm, likes the voltage. The Dan Clark Audio, the A2C, very low impedance, likes a lot of current. What I also appreciate is there is a Pentacon 4.4 plug now for balanced, but the Cayenne team did include an adapter. I was able to switch from the 4.4 to a 2.5, which I appreciate. I'm old school. I still like the 3.5s, but, you know, whatever. Pentacon is a better connector. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit meatier. I hope that it does become the standard because 2.5 and 3.5 were just all over the place. I mean, the construction, the chassis of it is nice. I mean, it's got a good shiny touchscreen finish. Volume knob here on the side is easy to use. It's got a good click to it. There are the buttons for navigating. I mean, the functionality of the device in terms of how it performs, very smooth. No problems with the operating system. No problems with getting files loaded, playing files back, navigating the menus. Made a lot of sense. Some of the iBasso players that I've used have been a bit particular. And on the flip side of things, right, Astel and Kern still has what I think is probably one of the polished and nicest, experiences or interfaces. Nonetheless, Cayenne, though, did an excellent job with this. I mean, really, interface is nice, it's smooth, it works well. Sound quality, again, I mentioned that there were two DAC amp boards that I had. The A1 board does have the AKM Velvet DAC, and it sounds velvety. It sounds a lot like the Con, to be honest. I was a little disappointed. For $1,000 you get what is basically a newer, maybe technically better, kind of player that sounds like the Con does. And guys, this is an OG Con. There's a Cube out now. But what both of these DAPs share is that velvet sound. So what? Rich, engaging, beautiful mid-range, slightly soft bass, and top end that's a little congested. It's not bad. There are people who appreciate that, people who enjoy that, but it's not for me. Now, for comparison, what I have is my Hi-Fiman HM901. This is an eSaber DAC, but I've got a high-frequency roll-off filter, the vintage filter. So what I've appreciated about this DAC, along with, this is it's not really custom, but this is the iBasso PB2. What is this? External battery pack, the LME 4990 op amps. Nice stuff. Tons of power, tons of clarity. Just my go-to portable system. And what I like about this is it doesn't have the eSaber hump, number one. The roll-off filter kind of helps to de-emphasize that, but specifically and more importantly, doesn't have that engaging, mid-range richness, because I'm not about none of that stuff. So this is what gets me exciting. Let's take a look first of all at the different DAC boards. The DAC amp boards are an additional purchase. One comes with it. When you buy a new one, you got the packaging. You've got this lovely blue screwdriver, which, hey guys, really appreciate that. I have some generic screwdriver that undoes my, PB2. I like that this is like a custom thing. This is specifically for your N6ii, like your N6 Gen 2. But the board just pops out. I mean, you unscrew it and then you pop it in. You know, it's your DAC amp in a board all together. Pretty nice. So again, the base model, the A01, warm, engaging, full, whatever. Nothing exciting. You know, who cares? I don't. But that PCM DAC chip, man, that 1700 series. God, every time I hear those DAC chips, I really enjoy them because what they bring in this product and others in the past, but specifically what this does, right? The N6ii Gen 2 with the T1 DAC amp chip has, well, transparency, right? The bass for me was tauter versus the A01. The top end was a little bit airy, had a touch of sparkle, but it really opened up. I mean, I got better staging, I got better detail, just all around a higher fidelity DAC amp board over that velvet AKM chip. Granted, you don't think you have DSD anymore, but I don't do DSD, so I don't really care. You know, it's not for me. I don't think there's MQA with the what is it, the PC? Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't care. Not for me. Right? I have products to do MQA and DSD on the go that I pair with my cell phone. What I like about a dedicated digital audio player is offline files that I can supplement with Quabuzz. Right, the biggest problem with this, I love the way this sounds. I mean, it's been my stand-in, my guardian for top end for a while. My battery life for this is terrible. There's no support for streaming whatsoever, and it's just clunky and slow to use. But it sounds amazing. It sounds great. I love it. You know, again, we talked about like the warm thing. There is the, oh boy, the QP2R. I forget who makes that, but that's a nice warm player. That's kind of stand out. But there's like a dozen warm players. Again, not my thing, but this with that PCM DAC chip, man, this was nice. I mean, I really do feel the built-in DAC was like 98% of my tower, right? So this is a $1,300, well, it was a $1,300 tower. Now, this is really cheap to find, and these things don't even exist. But for a while, I spent $13, I got this, I've been happy with it. And what I appreciate is when I go to the N6ii, it's very much the same sound signature, you know, 98% of the same level of detail, but there's so much more convenience with the N6. I mean, it's all one thing, right? It's got enough power to do the Aeon2C just fine, more than enough power for the HD600, you know, and I just plug it in and I slide it and it works. Now we got that screen. You know, it's convenient. The battery life is more than like 3 hours. Charges with USB-C. It is convenient. The user interface is smooth and it sounds good, right? It sounds good. Nice fidelity, a deep, cohesive sound stage, very good presentation of both harmonics and fundamentals. I don't hear a lot of emphasis really on either one of them. Just the envelope is clean. There's nothing stands out, which I appreciate, right? I know some people like that engaging sound, but I don't. I like the transparency of the N6ii. What I appreciate, right, is I can slap on the Aeon 2C closed, pair it with the balanced out via the Pentacon to 2.5, because I have, 4 pins and I switch them up, input them into the 2.5. And what I appreciate is everything I love about the Aeon2C is still present with the N6ii with that T1 DAC amp card. I get the nice linear bass extension, the slightly engaging mid-range, touch of top-end emphasis. Nothing is overemphasized in my opinion with this. So, I mean, comparison-wise, I have the Con. I think the Con and the A1 are similar enough that you might as well go buy a Con for like, what, $600 if you like warm and engaging. Heck, I mean, I know what Shamling's got like an M5 out now. So there's a ton of stuff that's warm and engaging for $1,000 or less or whatever. If you're like me and you want something that is resolving, that is first and foremost transparent, if you appreciate the boring sound signature or the studio presentation, I really feel strongly that this is probably one of the first products that I've heard that really hits the nail on the head. I mean, I've heard the DX220 at shows, and it is aight. I've heard a whole bunch of the Astral and Current stuff, and, they're aight, expensive. But this for $1,300, I really feel kind of gets my recommendation right now for just an all-around exceptional, high-fidelity digital audio player. You know, so excellent stuff. Shout out, of course, to Andy Kong for allowing me the chance to hear it. Musitech, who I believe is handling the production here in the distribution here in the States and getting this thing shipped around. Again, guys, I mean, you got the black and gold, you got the nice shiny finish, the slightly beveled edge, got a good weight, good heft to it. Really phenomenal product. If fidelity is your end goal, if transparency is what you want, I think this is definitely the player that should be at the top of your list. So always, guys, thank you for watching. Please leave your questions and comment below. If you are the proud owner of a 7-year-old tower, totally share that with me, because as much as I love these things, you know, I do think it is finally time for, well, for them to be replaced. And I think the N6ii is a great way to replace them. Oh, I totally forgot. I don't like to say this as much. I made the poor mistake of, because there's a 3.5 out, which again, Cayenne, thank you. Dedicated 3.5 millimeter line out. I love it. There's no options for what voltage. You just plug it in and away you go. I made the mistake of plugging that line out into my PB2, and oh boy. Yeah, so the HM901 just doesn't quite measure up to the N6ii with the T1 card. It's purely a DAC amp, right? When I switch to the T1 card and I plug the line out into this amp, it is exceptional. So I bring that up as, again, just what's built in is 98% of what I have. And when I switch to a more resolving, well, digital audio player with a line out, then it flips. Now the HM901 is 98% of the N6ii with the line out. Definitely not really a diminishing return thing, actually. Right? Because as much as I love the sound quality of this, there is no convenience, and I don't use it very much because I have to lug around all of these components, and I got 3 hours to enjoy it. So again, beating a dead horse, I like the N6ii. The line out is exceptional. The built-in DAC amp with the T1 module is exceptional. I have the option to just enjoy it as is and have a nice convenient listen, or switch to the line out if I want to pull up my PB2 and drive like an HE6 or something crazy. And I like that. I like a product that functions just as well by itself and with a dedicated amplifier. You know, the HM901, the built-in amps were kind of meh. I went with a dedicated amp and ripped out. There's not even a DAC amp card in there. There's a DAC card, not an amp card. I pulled it. I pulled the amp card out of the HM901 to get the battery out, which, who needs that? Again, the N6ii as an all-in-one is phenomenal. You can feed it line out into an amplifier. It is still phenomenal. It definitely gets my recommendation. Absolutely top-notch stuff, Cayenne, yet again. Again, so, all right, this time for real. Guys, thank you for watching. Happy listening. Leave your questions and comments below.